How about now?
Yes.
Yay! We did it. This is why you make your own show. Because if you're 8 minutes late, guess what? Nobody noticed. It's because it's my show. That was totally approved. Hi, everyone. I'm Tori, and I've got the lovely Kate here. And I was like, quick, let's just hit the record button because I wanted to get like the cute banter as her and I were about to talk. And I think I'll just kind of like wrap it into why I ended up starting the show and how we wrap it into all this balancing business and pleasure, as I decided to call today's episode, right? So quick, Kate, will you tell everybody who you are for a minute, and then I'll do my spiel.
I am Kate. I am co-owner of 2 Adam and Eve franchises, coast to coast. And I am only a newbie 5 years into the adult industry. So
I think 5 years is at least what, like a novice, maybe? Like you're not a noob anymore. You've at least like, because I'm coming up on 10 years just next month, but I don't think that makes me a veteran yet, but perhaps a specialist is what I'm trying to think of. I'm like,
I'll take the promotion.
Right. Well, I gave it to you. It's not worth anything, but I can put a little design for you on Canva and you can put it on your website somewhere saying
I'm here
I did
for
it. It could be worth something someday. Who knows? But thank you again so much, Kate, for coming. What I wanted the audience to kind of hear, like our fun backstage, front stage conversation was I immediately, I saw your Woman in the Dark article. So must give you a round of applause for that. And I'll just say it. Ooh, puppies. So I immediately snatched her. And it was kind of last notice because welcome to the one-man show. Well, yay, producer Ryan now. It's a labor of love, right? So I'll get to tell her about the show while I introduce everybody to my fun show. I struggle. I'm not sure if this is a podcast or a web stream or a web series. So I go back in between both. But I love it when people like Kate, thank you again, come and not only support my little wannabe show, but then I get to do what I love, which is babble, really learn something, and then celebrate someone that I know it takes, especially just 5 years in, right? It takes a lot of guts to put yourself out there. I don't even think I could write about myself until like this year, honestly. So you did it. You did it faster than I could. That whole self-promotion is a lot. So we're here to celebrate the Kates. And for those of you that didn't know, this is my fun little diddly I call Tuesdays with Tori, where I had transitioned from doing mostly lubricant on the manufacturing side for 8 years to getting kind of plopped into condoms and lube and a little bit of everything else, because I can't stop networking. So as I kind of had a bigger lens, hi, Mom, on, she just had surgery last week. Thanks for watching. This was to go over there and feed her. I promise I'll feed you soon, Mom. But as I kind of had a different lens coming from just only our adult retail B2B side, whatever we want to call it, right? Pleasure products and more. I was really very frustrated that I didn't see a lot of easily available information or communities or ways to get the information for people like case in point, new business owners or innovators, retailers, merchandise, and just having a place for everybody to just either, use me as a soapbox. And it started with me wanting to make sure, because condoms are a little bit crazy. They're in everybody's stores, but there's a lot of society hoops we have to jump through, not only with the business where it's at right now, but a lot of miscommunication or misinformation in that category. So as I started learning about some of this stuff, I was like, why doesn't everybody know this? And as I started blabbing, it just, as I call it, speaking into the ether, because I'm a dork sometimes. I live in the clouds or in a book. I'm like, I was just talking to the ether, and incredible people started to just come and be like, well, I have things to share, or I've got some information, or, could you help me maybe get myself out there another way? So now the show's kind of turned into I'm stealing my husband's word, like an entercation. We're going to entertain, because I also love the side of the industry where we get to just sit down, have a brainstorm or a dinner and be casual, or like this case, girl talk about dogs too. But you never know what nugget you're going to learn. So it's also me, how do I want to say it? Making sure that I'm doing something fun in my career to stay motivated and talk to people, because the travel budget's not there like it used to be maybe 5 years ago even. And it just gets harder and harder to kind of, in my opinion, translate, like, right. How do you go from these like Fortune 500 companies that have to manage all of Trojan, but how do I make it make sense to you in retail? It's just been crazy eye opening. So now it's the soapbox that I share for everybody, right? I have a couple of friends, or I don't know if anybody saw my cute little new logo that I put on the post earlier, but now I have like so much great support and people just like, oh, well, we'll do, I'll do a little logo. And then if anybody asks who it was made from, just like, let me know. So I want it to be kind of a platform for everybody. There's my quick little speeds and feeds on it. And so of course it made sense that I saw a woman and adult, yay, and puppies and a business owner and 2 coasts. I know sometimes it might look like, oh, you work in adult, you must just go to Vegas and F off all day. It's like, no, it's a business like anybody else's. I don't get to do any of that fun stuff. That's for the consumers. I got to talk about profit margin and market share like everybody else. Come on. So I don't know how you do, like, right, managing a business is a full-time job, right? You do it with your family in 2 coasts and you continue to make sure you stay happy. Look at how pretty everybody is.
Oh,
I love it so
exciting.
much. Thanks,
Yes.
Ryan. Okay, so Kate, I know we kind of did the blurb already, but we'll do the official, like, start sharing a little bit more of, so that's how I got you here, right? Your story and why you decided to, not just how did you get here, but how did you get here on year 5? What made you want to do dogs and retail and all the things, right?
It's a long, strange journey, I gotta tell you.
Tell us. Everybody grab your drink. It's Story Tori time with Kate. This is what I live
it all
for.
started 20 years ago. Truly, I graduated college with a history degree and no direction, no idea what I was going to do with my life. Started working in vet clinics as a vet tech.
See, I knew I liked you. History nerd.
Yeah, history nerd. Love history.
But so over World War II, right? I'm so over that. I want to be
actually my favorite.
Oh, I'm so done with it. I want to be in the 16, 17, 1800s. Thank you.
Hamilton reignited my love for colonial history, I have to tell you. So I did like circle back to that later in life. But,
oh my goodness. Please read Discovery of Witches later. Go on.
Okay. But I was born with a congenital birth defect. So I had through my 20s, basically, my hip was degrading and I went back to school, got a degree in paralegal studies, had an entire career as a paralegal. And then in 2015, I had a hip replacement at 30 years old. While I was
Thank you for sharing that. Yikes.
No, it's why I told you, long, strange journey.
No, I'm enjoying it.
While I was recovering from that hip replacement, I lost my job as a paralegal and decided in that moment that I wanted to open my own business. And I started a dog walking and pet sitting company. And it immediately took off. It was a great success. Taught me a lot. And I was on track to have my best year ever in 2020. However, we all know.
However, this is a story I think a lot of people can understand. So again, thank you for sharing.
Yes. So January 2020, just before COVID like shut down the world, my dad passed away very unexpectedly. He lived in Massachusetts. I did and currently do reside in Virginia. He also owned an Adam and Eve. So this is how all of that happened. Just prior to his passing, my brother and I visited him. I'm literally 30 days before he passed. He was like, I'm going to plan my retirement. I'm going to go down to Florida. Last chance. Do you want any part of the store before I make retirement plans to sell it or whatever he was going to do? And we went, ha, 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 ha. Absolutely not, Dad. We're not selling dildos. Little did we know, fate would intervene just 30 short days later.
I'm so sorry for your loss, but isn't that interesting? Like, life has a funny way of giving you exactly what you want, even if it's not what you want.
It's like he knew without knowing. It's very strange. And my brother and I looked at each other, it's just the two of us, as siblings, and we looked at each other and we go, well, we're selling dildos now. There was not even a question. We knew This was his legacy. He spent years, 10 years. He died just before his 10th anniversary, building this business. And again, it was very successful. So we
and I'm
signed
sure
on.
now it's not just dildos, right? Like
It's
after
not just dildos.
Curating, right? It's dildos, it's vibrators, it's all sorts of fetish outfits, condoms and lube, right? My favorite, gotta have your commodities or people don't come back, right?
Even the massive amount of change that's come about strictly because of COVID. COVID really made the toys like work on their apps, work on the quality of their goods. Like we were faced with all of these materials shortages, and companies had to figure it out because this industry did quite well during lockdown.
Hi. Sorry, it's also the squirrel show. We say hi to our other friends that pop in. Makes it more interesting, in my opinion.
I love it. So my brother and I, we fell in love with the industry. I mean, that's the long and short of it. We went to our first show. We were extended the network that my dad built over 10 years. He was beloved in this community, as I found out after the fact. I mean, to this day, people come up and tell me stories, and they bring me so much joy. I'm the like lady embodiment of my dad. So they're getting like Scott 2.0 with me. So
and everybody probably loves it, right? Like it's another reason. Like I know it's sad, loss is awful, but also sometimes it's nice to have another reason to think of somebody you haven't thought of in a while because they're not with us anymore.
Right. Hey, girl. I mean, it was.
Now she said, "Hey, apparently you need a
law school."
No, to work in this business, by the way, it's a one woman army all the time, right? I'm assuming I'm saying woman in me and in you, right? Like I need a law degree, I need an accounting degree, I need a designing degree, and then I also need to remember to use my spell check. Okay, come on.
CYA all day long.
CYA, cover your ass for anybody that doesn't
cover your ass all day.
You learn things on the show from a business perspective. Here's your nugget for the day. Kate and Tori say, if it isn't documented, it doesn't exist. And just cover your ass and document it anyways.
Yeah, it's never going to hurt to have too much information unless the feds are knocking on your door. So,
yeah. Oh no, I take it. That's a whole other episode we could do, right? Like note taking by Tori and Kate. Like even if you don't send them out, like I can't remember. There's a lot of different, not every Adam and Eve is the same or owned by the same people, and they're very easy to get confused. So just write the stuff down.
Yes. Yeah. So my brother and I just a year ago, actually, the store in Long Beach is only about 10 months old, but it was about a year ago that we like really got the wheels turning on that. So
that's you were Long responsible Beach for it for about a year, right? It's lived in your head.
Yes, it's lived in my head as my store for a year because we signed the lease a year ago. But like it's been fun fact, we opened Long Beach, California on the 4-year anniversary of Dad's death. So that it sort of came full circle.
I like that. That's like I know even some people might think that's weird energy, but no, I like that manifestation of like, the legacy continues.
We would not be here without him. And we stumbled upon something we really loved. We love the customer facing aspect of it when we get to help. We love the back end of it where we get to network and meet and talk to people from all over the world, all over the country, all over the world. And it's just been a truly enlightening experience being in the industry. And I can't imagine now my life without this, it's all in the mix.
No, it's crazy and we're never bored, right? And you need 5 degrees and 5 hats or whatever. Yes. But look at the amazing people we get to meet that help us through this, like Blanca when she's over there.
And I love her. Now talk about keeping you laughing. She'll have you rolling all night long.
Oh, don't I know it? I think it would be fun. Maybe my next anniversary, or maybe I'll do it for New Year or something. I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna share, approved stories of like the first time I met you or whatever. What do I remember about the first time I met you? and Blanca's, right? Oh my God, it's fabulous because it's Blanca, but in the most wholesome sense, right? So it's a totally PG story, but it was like I think we were walking it from an event, and we'd seen each other in passing, but we weren't like besties yet. And I was starving, and I needed help trying to figure out where the food was. And she turns around so quickly, she spills all her grapes all over and of course they're like frozen grapes because bitch is like packing them with her or whatever. But she goes into mom mode, and she's like, "Oh, honey, let me show you where the food is in the walk, and you can't walk by yourself." And then that was it, best friends for life, because then our booths were kind of next to each other. And now she can't get rid of me even if she wants to.
Yeah, I do love this industry and the people in it. It is, it's a good time. They're good people. And I truly feel like everybody wants everybody to be successful. Like we're competing, but we're not in each other's backyard. So we're not competing to devour each other. But we all want to lift each other up, and I do really like that. I did forget to mention one thing though. We forgot the doggy daycare.
Oh, yes. Okay. Like Missy Elliott, rewind.
We forgot to bring all those beautiful dogs into the conversation. Yes. So what happened was,
let me prompt you, Kate. Okay, ready? Because maybe I need this clip for real later, because I pretend like I do things. All right. Hey, Kate, you're just like boss bitch, and you're doing all of these things and owning 2 stores. But I see all those dogs in all these wonderful articles. Look, it's just a puppy with a little fish. Welcome to the section where we love up on doggies. Look at how pretty they are. I don't know if you noticed my bean bag I'm obsessed with black and white and gold, but also dogs. And look at those pretty spots. Oh,
they make beautiful coats, these dogs.
Oh, where's my cow? Oh, he left me. He doesn't love me today.
He did leave. I did see your pupper before we got started. Like, there's the face.
There's a Nino there. Hi, baby. But I usually my potato. Oh. He was sulking.
Blanca, you are too much.
Oh,
yeah, baby.
Can you say hello? This is my fatso, and he kind of matches. He wants to be a cow.
He does. You fit right in.
Right. Oh, I know. That's so cute. I've never... See, there's a reason I latched onto you. What is this? Insert weird movie quotes from Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends?
Right? All the dogs. There's nobody here to tell me no. I have 8 dogs. I was locked in my house for 4 years for COVID. Like, this is what happened. Dogs.
4 years.
Not really, 4. But like,
we'll talk about that later. I shouldn't have 4. Okay, to rewind really quickly. Blanca, you're hilarious. I just caught
She's
up on
killing me.
2 seconds later, I was laying flat in the middle of the street because I'm Blanca. Yes, with the grapes. But I did not start.
True story.
Hashtag story Tori true stories, right? Or what was that?
There you go.
I'm dating myself right now. What was that, like, true stories? Like, you think you know, but you have no idea. What was it? Like MTV or VH1 back in the day, the diaries, and it was all like, okay. Kate
that
is
was not after my time.
Kate's not an emo girl, but I am. Okay, noted.
No, I am now cresting the hill. This is a new place for me, but like.
Okay, well, your skin looks awesome, so who cares? Right?
Thanks.
All right, and you're making all these great business things. Okay, tell us more about the puppies, but also kind of you can lump all your things together. Bigger picture question, right? Like there are a lot of hurdles in any business.
Indeed,
definitely hurdles in being a family with an adult industry, and then also maybe trying to target people outside of the industry with other businesses. Sometimes it can get a little tricky. People have bias. What's feel like sharing any surprising obstacles or just a testimony you've ever faced, and just any words of wisdom? How did you overcome it?
So first of all, I work with my brother, which I don't know if you have any siblings, but
it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, we're siblings in the truest form. I mean, you'll hear us on the show floor like bickering back and forth. Like it's all in love, but like we have that relationship that we have give and take. The other thing is that we are so different. So the things he's really good at, I suck at, and vice versa. So we can lean on each other for everything. IT, employee matters, sale ideas, merchandising, everything. We have differing ideas and differing opinions. So we come together, even if it looks bickering and ugly on the outside.
Because you
So
have
I'll
to,
say
because you
that
guys
first.
you're rooted in your family first, even though sometimes things can get tricky, right? Like I'm the
Right.
oldest. I don't know if you're the oldest or not. I'm the oldest of my
I'm
family.
the baby. I'm the youngest.
So my brother is the baby, but still, guess what your siblings can do because they've known you like either your entire life or their entire life. If you even look at me wrong, I know what you're doing. If you can say
You couldn't even
3
talk
words
without
to
saying a
me
word.
and hit that button, and it's just so it's very hard to keep emotion out of family, but also I do very much enjoy working with family members because there's something about like the verbiage makes sense. Your
I didn't
values
think
tend
I'd be selling
to
sex toys with my brother. Like, let's just make that. I mean, I didn't
it's
think
kind
I'd be
of
talking
amazing.
about this stuff with my dad either. But it just works. And interestingly, my dad's death brought us closer together. It did not make things difficult for us. For whatever reason, we gravitated towards each other. He lives in LA, by the way, so he is across the country. So it's not like we're in each other's face all the time, which I do think helps versus like family members that live in the same town or whatever. Like,
Yeah, then just more personal on top of business versus like,
yeah.
okay, you can separate that a little bit better with distance.
Right. And he's physically in that store all the time. Now I don't have that benefit with our store in Massachusetts, but I travel up there frequently and I drive because I take my dogs because I'm not going anywhere without my babies. So I'll take a variety of dogs. I just mix it up when I go.
Little cluster.
Yeah, a little cluster of pups. Todd the Pomeranian goes to the
Just a
store.
variety.
Just a variety.
Just a little variety pack. No big deal. Can we start selling dogs in variety packs like from adoption centers, being like, oh well, here's your just cute little like
here's your grab bag of pup.
of dogs,
Good luck
right?
to
Just,
you.
yeah, right. Oh,
Yeah.
you want like a sporting little grab bag? We'll get you one. You need some working dog, toy dog grab
Oh
bag.
no, I definitely went into the shelter for a Roddy sized dog for my Roddy and came out with like a Chihuahua thing who I loved dearly and they got along great, but did not walk in there for a 15-pound dog.
Sometimes you get what you get, right? Also,
You get
I don't
what
know
you
if
get.
saw Ryan's cute little joke there. He was like, life is like a box of variety dogs. You never know who pooped in the house. I had to laugh about it.
Did you ever watch that show Life in Pieces?
No, I've heard good
It
things
was
about
so
it though.
cute. Yeah, it was like this show that was just like 15-minute blurbs talking, like each family member, like extended family got their own little blurb. That's how I came up with my Instagram life in spots because I was like, I feel like my life is these little, just like that, these little increments. So much of my life is focused on my dog. I mean, taking care of 8 dogs is no small feat. That takes a lot of time. They're Dalmatians, they're high energy. They have health. I mean, these don't have health problems, but like they can crop up, and things. I
Oh
used to
yeah, no,
breed, by the way. I
so did
bred
my
until about
mom. Oh, I love that. My mom used to breed and show some ways. I don't know if she's still on anymore. She'll chime in. So I love that. But yeah, no, same thing. Dalmatians are definitely one of those. They need a lot of guidance and structure.
They do. And then once you breed, you're stuck at home for, 8 weeks or until you send home your own, all your pups. So up until last
2 years, honestly.
I don't even want to go there. Every single one of those dogs is off leash dog trained and more. I have put the work in, but because I've put the work in, they have a routine and my life is easy. I can come in here. They're all 8 dogs are sitting on the other side of this wall, but you haven't heard them, right?
No,
so
you have to make sure that
we played
your
a
dog
lot
fits
of
in your life too.
we played a lot of ball today to make sure they were nice and tired. But so yeah. So that's one piece of my life. And then I have the resort and switching between. So the running joke in my life is dogs and dongs. These are the things that take isn't that great? So the resort and the things that are required there, yes, it's a brick and mortar, but it's not retail. But I still have employee issues. But now I'm working with live animals, and those are always unpredictable and, the things that can happen there. And then simultaneously, if something happens in any store, the alarm going off, somebody calling in. I had Long Beach, my brother's traveling today. Long Beach texted me in half an hour before the show saying that their evening person had a family emergency, can't come in.
Oh goodness.
Meanwhile, Greenfield texted me earlier, our evening person's there, car's not working, and they were late and had to get a ride. Like, these things arise every single day, and I have to talk them through it, but I can't hop in the car and solve the problems. And that to me is one of my hardest hurdles, because I'm a fixer, I'm a doer. I just want to be like, okay, I'll jump in. I'm not afraid to do any job I'm asking somebody to do for me.
100%.
But I can't. I can't hop in the car. So there have been times we've had to close the store early, but very rarely. We have good staff. We have good management.
That's
last
really important.
year, it is. We had to hire our first store manager since Dad died last year. The first one was there 90 days and destroyed our store. I mean, put us 6 months behind. It was amazing the amount of damage that she could do.
It's really hard to elevate and delegate and like trust that, right? Because you do need the good people, because you're like, I can't just show up and do the things, but also it takes a certain amount of energy, not just a certain personality, to be like, I'm empowering this person, but truly empowering you with the responsibility as well.
Right. So we learned from that mistake, and my brother and I alternated almost continuously for 4 months being in Massachusetts training this new employee. I mean, I would spend, because I'm closer, I would spend like 3 straight weeks. I'd come home, do my business here at home that I had to tend to. He'd come in, he'd do some training. Again, we're good at different things. So he'd come in and work on reporting and, things like that with managers. And I'd come in, and I love doing, like, seeing new products. So I'm like, okay. These are the things you look for when you're trying, checking out new product. And this is what our goals are in store. We want fresh new things. We don't want, we're in a small community. We cannot have the same product sitting on our shelf for 2 years.
No, and you shouldn't. Like, even if it is a top seller, you should put your hands on it and move it to another spot, right? Not only does that help with your first in, first out,
right, but like even restocking, like if you get hung up on a certain product or certain kind of product, you're neglecting all the cool stuff and the innovations and things that come out in the meantime that you're neglecting because you're like, well, I have something similar already on my shelf, Like I encourage my employees, my management to be receptive to those types of things and, offer it to the employees. What do you think? Do you think our customer base would like this?
Yeah, no, just listening to, like, catering to your audience, right? Not everybody needs to have the same look or feel as, every single hustler or even the CVS kind of medical field. There, right? There's a reason you are an independent retailer servicing your community. Like, niche marketing works when you know your audience. You just have to stick to it. I think we get too scared sometimes, right? It's like, okay, hey, it's okay that I'm not the, I've got a solution for everybody sort of store. If you're like, no, I have the solution for these bodies.
Right. And we're lucky in the sense that we don't have a lot of like real competition. We have a couple in driving distance of the kind of like pull your hat down stores, but nothing that's bright and open and welcoming and like that, like our
new and educated with people that, may give a shit.
Yeah, we're big on the training and education, and I push for at least 2 a month as far as getting all of my employees trained and we're retail, so we have turnover.
Right? You're still managing payroll and inventory and buying schedules. Plus, are my people happy? Am I leading? Do we have the education that we need? It's a lot, and it doesn't just happen. I always talk about the mental load, people. I'm like, okay, yes, it looks really great. You're a business owner, but you just talked about some of the things, like your time is still kind of on somebody else's schedule based on the events of the day. But also, right, it's very much you still have, like, there's a good and a bad to everything that you choose, right?
100%.
You need to know, like, you still got to have the accountability and still get it done, right?
Yeah. And, there's a bit of guilt not being at that store more often and relying so heavily on my management.
Oh,
I
we
mean,
could talk about mom guilt, work guilt. That's a whole other episode, right? Like I
yeah,
work remote, and how many times do I just make myself feel guilty because I'm like, well, if I was there, I could have helped. And it's like, okay, no, they knew from the beginning and agreed to being remote, and this is not your job or whatever. I have to just keep telling my brain
right,
to stop being a miser and think that I'm under attack. No saber-toothed
right.
tiger is coming to get me right now.
Yeah.
Just fill in the
Yeah,
blank.
yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
Seriously. Yeah.
That's a real thing. Okay, so I was kind of wanting to switch gears because we're talking about how important just listening, not just to your community and the people who, put food on your table because they're buying your stuff, but the people who are working, and how you empower them, and you still keep your values, right? Like you have a lot of balance with your, like, hey, it's a family run business, and I also have a dog business that I care about, because you still have to keep your cup full, right? You can't just be a machine. How do you make sure that your team is being recognized? Like what sort of positive reinforcements working for you? Anything you can share for other store owners out there that may be having a hard time motivating their staff when it's not just, here's a paycheck.
Right. So first and foremost, from the minute they walk into the door, I let them know that their opinions are welcome and they're valid. And um, a lot of employees I've found don't want to share things like, hey, I saw Jim come in late every day this week. They're not going to tell me that. But if I say, hey, I want you to re-merchandise this section and let me know why you did this, and teach them through doing, and empower them to say they've put some sweat equity into their job. I know when I was an employee, I just felt like I was a warm body. They shoved me behind a cash register. I'm standing there for 8 hours. They didn't care if I came or went, if I ate dinner. None of that mattered to them.
Yeah, you had no buy-in. You had no reason to care. You were like,
right,
okay, you haven't tasked me with any responsibility so that I care about the work I put into something.
Right. And I would call out just to hang out with friends. There was no investment for me to care about that job.
And unfortunately, that's a model for some big corporations.
It is. And it just always felt icky to me. And I always said, and truly, I was not management material in the eyes of any employer I ever had. So, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm a bit brash, but I get shit done. All right. So I don't know what the problem was, but I always said that if I was ever in charge of people, I would not treat people like that. And like, yes, I'm a boss. I have policies and rules, and there are things that my employees have to follow, but like, they also have opinions and families and personal problems. And
oh my God,
they're people.
They're not just their employee
people.
ID.
Yes. So I'm not out here to hold their hand and like hug them through every little up and down of life, but I'm understanding when things happen and find ways to work with them so they don't feel like they have to choose their job or this crisis or this bad day. Like, no, you can't call in because you're in your feelings, but like, what can you do to make yourself feel better through this shift? Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you need to go get something to eat and we can give you a 30-minute break? Like, what is it that you need? Because you have to work. Like, you can't just have a bad day and not come to work.
Oh, I was lecturing somebody on this, and so you can steal it, because I came up with like, it's cool. If you have a complaint, I'm here to listen to it, but I can't act if you don't give me any solutions. So-and-so is late all the time. Thank you for letting me know. What's your solution? I'm concerned he doesn't have transportation. Can we start a carpool or something? It never needs to be right. People sometimes get stuck in their silos of departments, and humans are naturally competitive and want to compare, right, for validation. But like, really, it's not about that. It's what do we do to get past that? No one needs to do the neener finger pointing.
Right. And people want to be seen and heard and feel valued at their place of work. We spend so much time doing that. I'm not their mama. The rules are different, but I'm going to let you share your opinion with me. Even if I don't take it, even if you re-merchandise it and it's terrible and I fix it the next day, we're going to talk about why. And so next time you do it, you can take those things into consideration too.
Oh my
So
goodness.
the
Somebody got my
positive,
favorite boss.
so the positive reinforcement is important to me. It doesn't put more money in their pocket, but it makes them feel like their job matters, like they matter at their job. So that's important to me. And of course, we do spiffs and sales contests and things like that. We in the back we have a the top receipts, so when they make their sales that they've the top 3 receipts for the year or whatever, so we can keep track of that. And we have a cabinet where I can pick some goodies out when they've gone above and beyond and things like that.
Oh no, that's perfect. Just, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Caring that your people are people, giving attention and seeing those who need help, but also having some responsibility and accountability there. No one's going to grow. You're doing nobody any good just dumping energy into the void, right? That's not the ether we want.
I am understanding that none of my employees across the Adam and Eve's or the resort, the doggy daycare, outside of my management, those people are not long-term employees. I do have groomers, which, they're like a subset. They're not management, but they're long-term employees in my world. Employee retention is something I pride myself in. I do have a lot of long-term employees, but, dang, where was I going with this?
It's not for everybody. It's just maybe like a stepping stone, right? You maybe
that's what I was going to say.
Management, yeah.
They should be able to take something from every job that there's going to carry them forward in any job that they do, regardless of the field. You should be growing. Who wants to be a warm body? I don't want to be just a warm body, a forgotten face in anything I'm doing.
Right. I might as well learn something because I don't want to just sit there and waste like my time, truly.
Right. The paychecks ain't that good.
We all work because we have to, so you might as well make the best out of it. I don't know. 100%. I can't tell you how many random skills I just learned sitting on people's meetings and taking their notes for them. Like, just take every opportunity. Okay, I've had so much fun, but also we're almost to the time. I'm trying to be good and not like have an hour and a half podcast. I'll just have to have you back again. Right. And anytime you have stuff you want to share about the store or contests or anything about the doggy daycares or, just let me know. We're always happy to have you back and do all the things. Because again, we're here to just help everybody. And maybe we inspire one person. Can't change the world, but I think it's important for people to hear what you're doing in your store because it's successful. Not everybody has been able to think about how they want to treat their staff and what's doable and what's not. Right.
Indeed. Yeah, no, it's definitely, I've learned a lot just by observing and knowing, like I was an employee once. I've done all these jobs. So waking up one day and being on the other side of it, as jarring as that was, and don't get me wrong, I'm still learning every single day. I by no means know everything. And I tell my employees that all the time. We're all going to make mistakes, including me. And, back to the accountability. You learn, you say, I'm sorry, and you move on.
Or right. I'm hearing not even sorry. At least this is what the book my mom sent me was like, whatever, nice girls don't get the corner office. You don't say sorry. You say, thank you for your flexibility. Or you say, I misunderstood. Right? You can still accept it without apologizing, unless you actually did something intentionally bad because you were
true. Like I do believe you should mean you're sorry. It's like if you're gonna say sorry, you do need to mean it.
I don't know if that works. I drop I'm sorry all the time. Like someone's like, oh no, where did you put this blanket? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I moved it into the other room. Like I'm the worst at it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, what else do you say?
Yeah, I do like those memes where they're like, how you like end your emails professionally, but like with a little dig.
My last email, right? Like, but yeah. Oh, that's another fun episode. Just how do you say this like HR, right?
Yeah. I hope this email doesn't find me, in fact.
Right. I've seen some of those where they're like, I'm on vacation. If you can't find me, great. If you can't find Tom, too bad, or whatever it is. Like, I say I apologize. Yeah, I apologize.
That's a good one too.
You saying sorry, right? I apologize is technically you never said I'm sorry. So that is a good way to still keep one up if you're one of those people that like has to keep the scoreboard in your head. That is a good one. Adding to the list. All right. We don't say I'm sorry anymore, ladies. Thank you for your patience, your flexibility, and I apologize or I misunderstood.
There you go.
My other favorite.
I'm sorry for your misunderstanding. However,
I know. Oh yeah, that's also a good one. What was the other one? Oh dang it, I forget. But there's a good one where when I'm just being snooty without trying to be snooty. I lost it, but it'll come back to me in a minute. But
it'll come back.
We got to start writing these down.
Yeah.
How to say no in corporate.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. The last one. I have to do the wrap up. But see what I did there? Thank you. Hilarious I am. I'm in the wrong field. I know. Okay. So before we do the whole wrap up and the stuff, any wise words of wisdoms for our listeners, which just looks like Blanca right now. Anything happening at your store soon or doing any fun stuff to help out with your doggy daycare? Like now's the time to do all the things, the wisdom and the shame.
So all the businesses are going to have Black Friday, Small Business Saturday deals. So everybody needs to be checking out the Instagrams because that's where they're going to be announced.
Ooh, you heard it here first.
Yep, they're under lock and key right now, but they're going to be some good, exciting deals for both stores and the resort. My words of wisdom for people in general: network. I love to network. I did it a lot before COVID, and my life is very different post-COVID, so it's slightly different networking for me now. But
I don't know anybody who's the same person post-COVID.
No, it's really weird to think about. But I know remembering people's names is hard, but make a concerted effort because I do get bothered when people are asking for me to spend my hard-earned money with them and I see them looking at my name tag and I have met you 16 damn times. Just remember
16's
me.
A little excessive.
Yes. Like if I have met you more than five times, more than five times, you should remember my name.
Because there's people that maybe I met you 4 or 5 times, but amongst 10 years. So it's like, it's like a brain fart. It's like, I know you, we've had this conversation, but it's been so long. Help me out. Right.
You know what I do? After every show or anything that I go to, I go home with all those business cards and I put every last one of them on my phone. Because
genius.
There's a subset of those people that will reach out after those interactions, and those are going to be the connections that you build. If you've talked to this person one time and you've never talked to them again, the next time I go to put that on my phone, I'm like, they're already there. We've never had a meaningful conversation.
Interesting.
So like I do use my notes section of my contacts. I mean, I keep track of all that stuff because the sheer number of people I've met who have gotten out of the industry or they've moved companies, like I need to know where everybody's at. And, if you're calling me, from some other company, I need to update because I don't want to call you, get on the phone with you and act
moving around these days. 100%.
Yeah. But it seems like it goes in clumps.
All right. How many people have you met maybe in a different industry then all of a sudden popped up in this industry, or they left and then they come back, right? Like you never
The left and come backers are a lot. You're very tired of me. The ones that leave and come back is pretty never.
Oh, Brandy. Hola, mi bachora. How are you? This is our, she doesn't know it, but someday when this goes worldwide, she's going to be my Latin interpreter.
I love it.
Oh goodness. Okay. I'm having so much fun. Now do the shameless pluggings. So we know we have Black Friday stuff. Where can we find you? I'm sorry, Ryan, I'll have you put the stuff up again so people pay attention.
Yeah. So I got to pull this up to remember them all correctly myself. There's a lot to remember.
But just be authentic. If you're like, hey, hold on, I got to look at my stuff to remember the things, just say that.
There's a lot. I mean, candles. Come on, this is not stuff I had to grow up with. So Adam and Eve Greenfield Mass on Instagram is Adam Eve Greenfield MA. Long Beach is Adam Eve Long Beach CA. And the doggy daycare is crate_escape_resort. And the Dalmatians is life_in_spots. Yes.
Okay,
and so like I
someday-
said, I used to breed. So there's lots of Dalmatian puppy pictures and videos and things. I stopped breeding about a year ago, but I had, I think, 7 litters in 4 years. So there's lots of puppies.
Oh, okay. Go get your puppy fix. And like, I want to live vicariously. Someday, you know, when I'm a bajillionaire from talking to people like you, right? I'm going to make my cute little like gothic but chic little house out there on the East Coast. And then, you know, will you decorate it with Dalmatians for me? That would be great because they're in my color scheme.
Just trust me when I tell you that I'm glad I'm doing this at my age, because when these guys pass, I'm not doing the big dog thing again.
Yeah, they do.
I'll be like 50. It is. I'll be about 50 when they all go. And I'm like, okay, I've done the hard work. I want to like ride this out for the next
you're like, I'll get
30-ish years. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, Todd
that.
stole a piece of my heart. I mean, listen, I don't follow my own rules. Who knows?
No, right. I said I was only getting 2 dogs and now I have 4. But I'm like, well, the other 2 were family members. I couldn't just let them go out into the void.
Mine are grief dogs. That's what I tell people.
No, we had, you know, like changes. People moved and my grand-in-laws, my husband's grandparents. That's where I got stinky face over here. Like, what are you gonna do?
Oh, I love that though.
And then like he's family, and then I fell in love with him. So do as I say, as I do.
Drop
right?
a dog off of my house, it's probably staying. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
Isn't there a meme out there that's like, what would a white woman do? And they like all these memes or videos of like, you know, dogs foaming at the mouths or scary pit bulls or whatever. And then these cute women going, oh, and the dogs come down. I'm like, yeah, sorta.
My friend got me this little plaque that says, there's always room for one more dog. And I'm like, don't tell me that.
don't implant that into my subconscious right now. It could happen.
Exactly.
All right.
Well, this was so much fun.
I know this has been super great. If anybody, you know, no one's told me that they like to, my way with 2 for you, Kate. Oh my goodness. Blanca, don't do it or secretly do it and record everything.
You know, her dogs are probably saucy as hell.
I mean, everything in Blanca's house is saucy with a side of sauce. So I don't know what else to expect at this point. Okay. You guys have been amazing. Thank you again so much, Kate. Keep checking back in. And I can't wait to meet you in person, hopefully in one of the bigger shows next year. But
I'll be at altitude for sure.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Well, it'll be fun. We'll do the stuff. But again, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do and being a part of the community. And again, congratulations on your Women in Adult article. And if anybody needs help finding the Kate or has questions for her because she's a boss lady all day and she's getting it handled, you can DM me on these socials here and I'll help you get set up, or, you know, rewind a little. You'll get the little hashtags from her. We'll see you
Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.